Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello everyone, it's Zainab. So I just want to talk a little bit about taqlid because I have a question. Taqlid is a concept that I didn't have much understanding of until very recently when someone asked me about it. So I just wanted to read up a little bit about it and research about it just so I had a little bit of understanding of what taqlid is, because I don't want to be completely ignorant on the subject. So I didn't know what taqlid was before very recently, but in the short amount of time that I have been able to do a little bit of research on it, from what I can understand, it is just like if you're, as Muslims, we want to make sure that we're following the religion as closely to the sunnah of the Prophet, or as closely to how Allah intended for us to do so as we possibly can. So by doing so, of course, we have a deep, we develop a deeper understanding of the Quran, the Hadiths, the Sunnah of the Prophet, the teachings and wisdoms of the Prophet and all the prophets, the Prophet's family, Ahlul Bayt, alayhi salam, the Prophet, alayhi salam, sorry, I forgot to add that, the companions, alayhi salam. So that way we can understand, like, we want to be able to follow the religion as closely as we possibly can to how Allah intended for us to do so. So there are so many different, the religion is broad, right? Like, there's religious law that encompasses every level of our lives, from jurisdiction, so law itself, ethics, philosophy, how we are with our families, how we compose ourselves in public. There's so many different little nuances of the religion as well. So, like, if we are not sure about something, and say we look to the Quran to find answers, the Quran is a little bit ambiguous, as sometimes it can be. So we look to Hadith, we look to Tafsir, we look to the teachings and the wisdoms of the Sahaba or Ahlul Bayt or the Sheikhs that have been well studied and have a high level of education in Islamic studies, for example. Don't we? Like, we always look to something to find guidance so that we can understand it more, so that we know that we're doing it properly. Because if we don't, that means that we are making assumptions about how we think it should be, and those assumptions may or may not be wrong. And there's too much of a risk for getting it wrong and then just doing it that way because you think it should be right, and then it might not be the right way to do it. So what do? We look to guides, and those guides that are alive in 2024 are called marja, and we look to those. We pick a marja, I guess. It doesn't have to be the same one all the time. I think we can change it. I'm not sure. But anyway, you kind of do your research to see where they're getting their information from. And then you kind of pick one and be like, okay, this one seems like he knows what he's talking about. I can see where he's getting his information from. So you're going to refer to him if you have a question that you're not sure of, something that you need to clarify in Islam. Because if we were to do that ourselves with every single little question or unsurety that we have, then sometimes it might take us too long. Like, we don't have time in our lives to kind of put all the pieces of the puzzle together so that we can work out with 100% certainty that we know the answer to something that might be very specific or ambiguous, or specific to a certain situation. Maybe it's different from one person to another, for example. So that's my understanding of taqweed. is that you look to a marja who has spent years, like all their lives, studying Islam, and they so they know, basically they know almost all the answers, if not all the answers that you might have from a very educated point of view. Please correct me if I'm wrong, or elaborate on what I've said if you'd like to, because I'm learning about this subject right now. So I'd love your input and your feedback. That'd be great. So anyways, I know that some Muslims don't believe in taqlid because they, like, without really explaining why. So one person commented on my YouTube and said, and I was asking for an explanation as to, like, a deeper understanding, to have a deeper understanding of taqlid. So someone else come on and quoted chapter 9 verse 31 of the Quran, and then chapter 9 verse 34 of the Quran. So basically that was like, don't worship anyone other than Allah. There's only one God, and Islamic leaders and scholars in the past, or religious leaders and scholars in the past, even Christian ones before Islam, have been known to kind of take your money, take your riches, take your treasure for themselves. So I don't know what this person was trying to say, but maybe they were trying to say, like, don't trust any marja or Islamic scholar, because they'll just steal from you, and don't worship them either, because there is only one God. Just worship God, otherwise you'll be committing shirk, of course. But I don't, like, in my research that I've done of taqlid, there's no evidence in any of the research I've done to say that it is worship to follow a marja and to ask a marja questions that you're not unsure of, so that you can be more sure of a specific subject in Islam, so you can have clearer guidance in Islam and not commit haram or sin, right? So I don't see how, like, that, I don't see how that could be worshiping a marja, first of all. Correct me if I'm wrong again. Also, what evidence do you have that marjas, if you ask them a question to let them guide you in Islam, like, how can they steal your money and your gold and silver? Like, I don't know. Like, honestly, I don't know the point. If you're listening, the person that quoted these verses of the Quran to me as an answer to my question, which was, please explain a little bit more about taqlid. I'm learning about this right now. So I don't really know how you made those connections. Anyways, my other question was, I did find one video on YouTube that said that we have to perform taqlid, like it's a performance, like something that we have to do. And they said before the age, like before a specific age. For boys, it's 15. For girls, it's 9. So before that age, we have to complete taqlid, a performance of taqlid. But they didn't explain, how do we do this? How do we perform taqlid? Like, what kind of, is it a special salat that we have to do? Or is it some kind of ceremony or ritual that we have to do? Like, what does it, it's perform. The word perform is a very strange choice of word, in my opinion. And I just wanted to get a little bit more understanding of what he meant about that. So, yeah. So from what I gathered, taqlid is just asking for guidance if you're unsure about something from a marja, who is someone who is well versed and well studied in the religion of Islam, so that they can guide you the right way. But yeah, then there's that perform taqlid before a certain age. Like, what is that? If any of you can answer any of my questions, that'd be amazing, and I appreciate it, and thank you so much, and may Allah bless you. Bye.